What is going on? It is your boy Rayfon2K back with the first NBA 2K27 video of the year. In today's video, we are going to be covering all the news that 2K dropped, including the cover athletes, the various editions, as well as the roadmap for upcoming information. As always, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. It helps to grow the channel, and without anything else, let's get into the video. The first thing to discuss is the cover athletes for this year. On the cover of the standard edition, we have Victor Wembanyama. On the deluxe edition, we have Caitlin Clark. And on the ultra edition, NBA legend Derrick Rose. The covers themselves are fairly minimalistic this year. I actually like the covers. I like the neon aspect of it. I like the kind of glow. I especially like the standard cover with Victor Wembanyama, having both of his teammates Dylan Harper and Devin Vassell included on the cover as well. I do have a feeling that was something of Wemby's request. I know that he's always trying to get his teammates involved as well as, not taking the glory for himself. So I like that aspect of the cover for sure. On the deluxe edition, we have Caitlin Clark representing the WNBA. Again, pretty solid cover. This is probably my least favorite out of the three covers. Nothing against Caitlin Clark, just I don't really love that kind of brighter orangey yellow color. But I do think that it's good to have her included, not on like a special WNBA edition, but on one of the main deluxe edition covers. And finally, we have NBA legend, like I said, Derrick Rose gracing the Ultra Edition, representing the Chicago sports area. Derrick Rose, long been due for a cover, been well over 10 years since he last appeared. So overall, love having Derrick Rose. I do like the Victor Wembanyama cover the most, but all three covers are very, very good. The next thing to discuss is the price for the game. The standard edition will cost $69.99. The deluxe edition will be $99.99 and the ultra edition will be $149.99. If you were to ask me which one's the most worth it really depends on what you're trying to do. If you just want to play the game kind of in a casual sense, just play now, maybe hop in a little bit of my career, definitely would opt for the standard edition. If you are interested in playing in a little bit more of a capacity, the deluxe edition would definitely be my pick. It comes with an additional 100,000 VC, which definitely helps give you a little bit of an increase in the upgrading your my player. So if you're planning on buying VC anyway, the 100,000 VC that you're going to get with the deluxe edition is more than you would be getting if you bought the standard edition and then bought $30 worth of VC. So if you were going to plan on buying VC, definitely go with the deluxe edition. The ultra edition, it does come with the pro pass. That's kind of the big differentiator, is it comes with the pro passes for seasons 1, 7, and 8. I want to clarify, this is not like level 40. This is something that I was initially a little bit confused on, but the pro pass just gives you additional rewards once you hit the different levels within the season pass, but it's not actually giving you the levels. So if the pro pass, again, most of the time it is kind of cosmetics that it's giving you. There's not a lot of gameplay additions that you get from the pro pass as opposed to just the standard season pass. So I would definitely suggest getting the deluxe edition this year for sure. The next thing to talk about is the release date. So 2K's global release date will be September 4th. However, if you get the deluxe or ultra edition, you do get the early access, which will allow you to play the game on August 28th, 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. It is a global release, so in previous years you could switch your time zone to like Australia or New Zealand and you'd be able to play the game a day early. This year it's a global release, so Australia or New Zealand, your guys' game goes live on August 29th. If you're in the United States, it goes live August 28th. If you are planning on playing My Career and grinding rep, I would definitely recommend getting one of the deluxe or ultra editions for that early access. That extra week definitely helps give you time to understand the game, get a little bit of a head start in terms of actually building out your rep, getting your builds figured out, learning your jump shot, things of that nature. However, if you are trying to play in a casual sense, the early access might not be necessary, and you will get one full week of content creator videos teaching you all about the game, like what builds to make, what are the kind of differences between 2K27 and 2K26. So I would definitely encourage everyone to not make their build right away, especially if you're not getting it early access. Take a look at a build video, take a look at what some of the content creators are talking about, the emphasis of the game are, whether it's easier, harder to shoot, dribble movement, defense, things of that nature. But again, if you are planning on playing the game quite a bit and you want to grind rep and you really want to play in a competitive sense, early access will definitely give you a bit of a boost in terms of getting your builds and getting your game plan figured out. The next thing to go over are some more of the specifics of what you get in each of the editions. So the biggest difference I would say definitely is that early access and the VC. So with the deluxe edition, like I was mentioning, you get that extra 100,000 VC. With the ultra edition, you get an extra 135,000. I personally, like I was saying before, would not recommend getting the Ultra Edition unless you are planning on buying Pro Passes through the year. But the Pro Pass, like I was saying, it's mostly cosmetic, so it's not really worth it in the long run unless you are really into that. The other big bonus that you get is like a Derrick Rose oversized hoodie, which is again cosmetic. And you get a guaranteed 98 overall available on December 2026 for the My Team mode, as well as a guaranteed invincible card in May of 2027. So if you are planning on playing My Team, you will get some additional cards throughout the year. But again, Ultra Edition, definitely not the best value. The Deluxe Edition would be my recommendation for everybody if you want to play the game in a competitive capacity. The final thing that 2K gave us was the 2K Mart trailer. We aren't too sure what the 2K Mart actually will do in terms of the actual game, whether it's going to replace where you buy boosts, if it's going to be interactive, you walk in and out, but they did drop the roadmap for upcoming information in that 2K Mart trailer. So first things first, we have the gameplay trailer coming out July 28th. So the gameplay trailer, right now we only have cinematic shots of the cover athletes. The gameplay trailer will show us what actually happens in the game, how players are moving, how defense is being played, potentially shot animations, shot meter, things of that nature. The next two things after that will be the official 2K Beats Spotlight and the Apparel Spotlight. So 2K Beats Spotlight will take place on August 10th. Basically, they're just going to announce the soundtrack for the game, the songs that will be included in it. And then the Apparel Spotlight will be brands that they are collaborating with for clothing that your My Player will be able to wear. The next thing they mentioned, they just say tune in on August 18th. Most likely that will be some type of community day or dev showcase of the actual game. Definitely going to give us a lot more information about how the game is going to be played, how the builder will look, how My Team might be structured. So again, nothing specific about August 18th, but you have to imagine it will be some type of community day. And then finally, we have August 28th, the early access, and then September 4th, the official launch. Once we get into the 2K Mart trailer, the first thing we see is this discontinued left-right cheese. I'm very curious what that means because 2K, the concept of left-right cheese has definitely been in the game for a long time. Essentially, the main complaint is that players move too quickly in the lateral direction and the defensive player is not really able to keep up in any meaningful capacity, and that the offensive player isn't punished enough for spamming the same move back and forth. The bigger issue with left-right cheese is more so about screens. A player can kind of go back and forth behind a screen continuously until they get a really good animation where the defender gets sucked into the screen and they're able to get a lot of separation. That would be my biggest complaint about what is considered left-right cheese, but I'm definitely interested to see what 2K means by discontinued it and what that means for gameplay moving forward. The next thing we see is just contest, D up to enter. Maybe that just means better contest systems. I think the contest system this year was okay. I know that Challenger has definitely been a little bit of an exploit in terms of defensive contest. It's very badge dependent as opposed to ratings, but definitely interested if they've improved the defensive contest system as well as other aspects of the defensive side of the game. The next thing we see, just a small thing, My Player Starter Pack. Pretty standard is going to be your brown shirt, gray sweatpants, and the 2K generic shoes. Nothing really new there. It's the same setup that we've gotten every single year for the past 10 years of the game. So nothing changing on that side. We do see this little sheet here. It says rec, join the squad, bro. Probably just means we're going to have the same thing, squad rec and no squad rec. Again, nothing really changing. We do see it mentions heat check on the wall. So like we have heat check coming back another year for the My Player and My Career side of the game. The next thing we see here is something I'm pretty interested in. It says 2K Robot version 2.0. If you played My Career, really if you played Rec this past year, you know the AIs were one of the most frustrating things to play with, mainly because they would not play any type of off-ball defense. You could consistently no-dip the AI over and over again and get a wide open 3 on every possession. So I really do hope that when they say that 2K Robot, they're referring to the AIs, and they've definitely have boosted the AI's ability to play off-ball defense. So if they did improve that, big props to 2K, definitely a much needed fix. The next thing we see moving through this trailer is these double aprons My NBA. What that likely means is they've added the second apron cap structure to the My NBA mode. Not really going to give 2K props on that. It's the actual rules of the salary cap in basketball and it hasn't been added into the game yet. So the second apron has been around for a couple of years already. So I'm glad 2K is adding it, but Really not going to give him too much props on that, just because it's something that should have already been in the game when the rule was first introduced. The next thing we see here is this hat with the word breakers on it, indicating that cap breakers will be returning. No complaints on my side. I think cap breakers were a great addition to the game, give you the ability to continuously improve your build throughout the year, as opposed to having to play with the same build throughout the entire year without any type of improvement. I'm curious to see if the cap breaker system will remain the same, where attributes aren't always increased by +1, they might be +11, +20, depending on where your rating is starting, what your build is, what your playstyle is, things of that nature. So cap breakers will be returning in 2K27. The next thing we see are just this variety of like snacks like poster protein, demigod gummy, so likely just another form of boosts in the game. Whether or not it's going to be the same as previous years with the driving dunk boost, playmaking boost, things of that nature. One thing I am curious is whether or not it could be the return of part cards. If you aren't familiar, back in 2K16 and 17, you could activate part cards in game, which would give you added boosts to your stats and attributes throughout the game if you activated your part card. There was ones for offense, defense, playmaking, etc. We also do see this new flavor preview. I am really curious what that is indicating, whether it's like a boost or something more impactful to like your player building and overall gameplay. The next thing we do see is this map of the city. So the city will be returning in NBA 2K27. Based on the map, it does look pretty similar to the current city layout, which, I don't really mind that much, as like other people I know have been kind of complaining we're getting the same city, but really it was just about the actual courts and the gameplay in the park. So if the park is nice, it gives us the ability to play. We get good games, quick games, no lag. I can't really complain too much. And that will pretty much conclude all the information that 2K has dropped about the game so far. Definitely will be on the lookout for new information when they drop it. The next thing that we are guaranteed to get is, like I said, that July 28th gameplay trailer. Hopefully 2K can drop a little bit of information before that. And once the gameplay trailer does drop, I would expect Mike Wang, one of the devs, to be on Twitter answering questions, giving some more information that was not included explicitly in that gameplay trailer. That will conclude today's video. I appreciate all of you guys watching. Again, make sure to like and subscribe. It helps to grow the channel, and I will be back with the next NBA 2K27 video soon.